Galnet News Digest, 25th of January 3308. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news, Aegis Administrator calls for temporary halt to the winding up. Brewer Corporation apologises for delivery delays. Conflict seems likely in Reorte. And we explain how shopping can help your favourite faction.
Aegis Chief Administrator Carter Armstrong has called for the Anti-Thargoid Agency to remain operational while the facts surrounding the loss of the megaship Alexandria are investigated. Initial theories that the megaship had been intercepted by Thargoids appear to have been disproven by recent discoveries. The wreck of the Alexandria was found in the Rigo TC-X B29-0 system on Friday, and a number of files have been salvaged from the voice recorders. There are rumours that the megaship may have been sabotaged and the cargo, consisting of 400,000 tons of Guardian technology, removed. It appears that there were no survivors from the crew, and the suggestion is that the pirates may have slaughtered them. The sabotage and theft of the cargo is alleged to have been carried out by someone known as the Witch, in order to have a means of attracting Thargoids to star systems at will. The reasoning behind this is not yet clearly understood.
The Brewer Corporation has apologised for the ongoing delays in issuing the frameshift drive reward for the top 75% of contributors to Part 3 of the Colonia Bridge initiative. They have now sourced enough of the 3A, 4A and 6A double-engineered drives, but a defect in manufacturing means that when the drives are allocated to commanders later this week, experimental effects cannot be applied. Brewer is working with Brandon, Farseer and Martuk to come up with a solution, and expects to be able to supply a remotely applied firmware upgrade in a few weeks' time to allow the desirable deep charge, thermal spread and mass manager effects to be applied to these modules. The 6 new starports that were built as a result of Phase 3 of the initiative will be deployed to their new locations on Thursday. Meanwhile, Core Dynamics subsidiary Vodal has also had to apologise after a botched firmware upgrade meant that SRV cargo scoops are now only able to scoop one item before having to be reset. A fix is being worked upon, but in the meantime, commanders are advised not to drop priceless Guardian relics for a photo shoot at Mitran Hollow because they almost certainly won't be able to scoop them up again afterwards.
Concerns are increasing that the situation in Reorte may descend into conflict in the next few days. Citizens there, unhappy with Prime Minister Mann's pact with the Sirius Corporation, have been blockading the Sirius megaship Chariot of Rhea as a protest against the occupation of Old World systems by the corporate navy. Sirius Navy has been hired by the Alliance to protect it from Thargoids, and it has established a presence in many of the Old Worlds despite the almost total absence of Thargoids there. The places the Alliance has been experiencing trouble with Thargoids are in the Muscadark region and the Witchhead Nebula, places where the Thargoids inhabited long before the Alliance moved in to take the meta-alloys. Alliance bases in the California Nebula have been curiously unaffected by Thargoids. The blockade of the Reorte megaship does not currently seem to be very effective, with docking still permitted. However, tensions are running high, and there's every chance that skirmishes could break out in the system. Councillor Nakato Kane has expressed her own concerns over the potentially illegal Defence Pact, and she may become a rallying point for those who wish to oppose the perceived loss of sovereignty that a serious military presence brings.
Minor factions can look forward to a bit of retail therapy from today, as purchases from their commodity market will help the owning faction's influence in the system. Previously, only sales to a faction would be counted towards their influence. Influence is supply and demand based, so commanders wishing to help a faction may like to know that buying items that are in high supply and selling items that are in high demand and, particularly, buying and selling high-value items will help factions most. A trade run will benefit both the faction where the goods were bought and the faction where the goods are sold. Commanders are warned that black markets may become active during times of civil unrest. Dealing goods on the black market is, of course, illegal, and it is extremely unlikely to return a handsome profit.
And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News, we read the news, so you don't have to.